That's all right, I owe you. So, okay, it's 2 o'clock. I'm going to call this meeting to order. This is a meeting of the Board of Trustees of Weatherford College. Today is Thursday, June 10th, 2021. It is 2 p.m. We're in the Aline Strain Community Room of the Doss Student Center located at 225 College Park Drive, Weatherford, Parker County, Texas, to consider and act on the posted agenda. We do have a quorum here. Dr. Marlette's supposedly on his way, but we're not going to wait for him. If he comes in, we'll welcome him to the meeting. We're here to consider and act on, as I said, the posted agenda, and so we'll start with agenda item number 1, call to order, which I've just completed. So now we'll ask Mr. Baker to give us the invocation. Can you do that for us?
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Please
sir.
bow with me if you'd like. Lord, we're thankful to you again to be here for another month for this great college. We thank you for the academic year that we are closing and all the wonderful things you've done through this institution and taking care of our students, our faculty, and staff. Thank you for our community. Thank you for these board members and the time they give up. In your name we pray. Amen.
Stand with me. I'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Be seated. I want to welcome Doug Dowd to this board meeting. He's a new member, and we appreciate you being here. Welcome to the board.
Yep, glad to be here.
I also want to welcome all of you that are here to participate in the meeting today, and I think it's great. I appreciate everybody coming. I do want to talk to you as far as those who are going to speak in the public comment section. We have gone through the people who've signed up. We've got 16. So, you know, we normally give 5 minutes on that. Dr. Marlette, welcome. Usually we give 5 minutes, and we think this is a very important part of our meeting. I asked a couple of the guys, maybe we could limit it to a little bit less than 5 minutes. Typically, when we have this number of people, we can sometimes ask that one person speak. I don't want to do that. I want to hear everybody that's here. So we would ask that as you speak, if you can state your comments, give your thoughts on this particular subject that is up for public comment today. I want to make sure that you understand there is no action item on the agenda or anything that will take place on this particular item about the Weatherford College Fire Academy. It's just simply not on the agenda. There's no action to be taken today. But we do want to hear your comments, and it's an important part of this process. So with that in mind, we'll take the first, I put them all in order and then upside down them so that we would take the first one that came to us. This is Assistant Chief L. Whatley, 404 West Enon Avenue, Everman, Texas, 76140. Is Chief Whatley here?
He's coming in.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Chief. Did you hear me talk about maybe you could hold your comments to a little less than 5 minutes, maybe more like 2?
We can shoot for that.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Okay. Whenever the timer starts. First things first, my name is Lando Wiley. I'm the Assistant Chief for the Edmond Fire Department. I'm fortunate enough to work for a department that's public safety, so that's why I'm bestowed the title of Assistant Chief. I'm over all operations for the fire department. Been in the fire and EMS since 2004. I was lucky enough to attend Weatherford College in its very, very early years. I was in day class 5. Actually, don't even know what they're up to now. A lot. I was also honored in years after that to come back and assist with the live burns, instruction. I have been involved with multiple other academies. I'm not going to mention any names. There aren't many that are in the Metroplex. This is a very, very booming industry. As we all know, houses are still going to burn. People are still going to need to go to the hospital. We're always going to need public safety. And truthfully, we're in probably one of the biggest shortages you could ever imagine right now. To find a good quality candidate, we've got to comb through 10 to 15 guys to find those good quality candidates. Lucky enough, we've got Weatherford that's right next door. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be an 18, 19, 20-year-old kid who's fresh out of school and young, eager, clean slate, and we get to get them right out of the box to make a good fireman out of them. I know my experience at Weatherford College was one that I, still to this day, I have too many stories that I tell all of our new guys. I took too many things from Weatherford College Fire Academy that made me who I am. Ironically, I walk in here and I see guys that I haven't seen in a number of years, and they see me. Who would have ever thought Punk, Lane, and Watley would have ended up becoming an assistant chief of the fire department? I'm honored to have them say that. And you know why? Because it was each of those guys that made me be able to put this on. It was each of those guys that made the man that stands before you. And I'm honored to lead my department. I wouldn't be able to do that if it wasn't for this quality program. I can tell you right now that of all of the agencies and instructional facilities that I've worked with, been affiliated with, and being able to bestow my knowledge to the new generations, this is the only institution that I'd stand up here, stake my name in this uniform, stake my city and my reputation on the line for these guys. Because I feel that deeply that this is one of the greatest academies and educational institutions for the fire service that I've ever seen. The guys here have been here forever. It's not a revolving door with instructors, with coordinators and directors. It is who they are. And they've been here since I was here, and they were there before I was there. That in itself is an investment far above and beyond what you're going to find at any other academy. That and the benefit that this academy brings to Parker County and surrounding counties, because as I said before, unfortunately, there's not a lot of these educational institutions around. We've got, that I can think of off my head locally, maybe 3 or 4. If we can't find good quality candidates now, and we cut one of the best programs there are, we're all going to suffer. Everybody in this room, you're going to suffer because you're not going to have the fireman to ride the fire truck or the firefighter EMT to ride the ambulance to come to when you need it most. Because at the end of the day, when you dial 911, do you expect to receive a fire or an ambulance? All day. It's my job to make sure that gets out of the house. But I can't do it if I don't have the resources.
Can I ask you a question really quickly?
Wait, this is not, we don't interrupt the speaker. And sir, if you can wrap it up, we've got a lot of people. Thank you for your comments. We don't interrupt the speaker, and we don't make comments.
Truthfully,
from the board.
that is the nuts and bolts of what I wanted to get to.
Okay.
This is one of the biggest benefits to not only the fire service, to the United States, but more specifically to this community, to Parker County, to Tarrant County, to Johnson County. Without this institution, we're all, me, every other chief, we're going to hurt. Everybody in this room is going to hurt.
Thank you, Chief.
Chief, may I ask you a question?
Wait a
now?
minute, we're not permitted to
We're
ask
not
questions in this part.
Why?
It's just the law, it's the rules. This is public comment, this is not an interaction with the board. This is not an agenda item, this is just public comment. They have the right to make their comments and we want to hear those, but we can't question them from a board standpoint. It's not. You check me if I'm wrong, Mr. Curley.
Correct.
If it's not on the agenda, we can't discuss it.
If it's not up for discussion item, then you can't.
Thank you, Chief, I appreciate that.
Can I talk to you after then? Okay.
Sure. Okay, are we clear? Okay, thank you. David Chilcutt, 150 Toto Road, Weatherford, Texas, 76088, Fire Academy. David, thank you.
Yes, sir. It's an honor to be here. I live here in the county, so obviously it impacts me a lot. Not only that, I also have 2 degrees from this college. One being in fire administration, the other being in ag business. So, you know, it means a lot to me, and this program has really, I've got to see it grow. I went to Fire Academy long before this opportunity here. So I'm also a battalion chief in Haltom City, and I get to see the product that comes out of Weatherford College. And they always do a great job. And there's a need. Yes, we have Tarrant County, but it's not meeting the hiring need in the Metroplex, other than like the Fort Worth, the Arlingtons, and Dallas that does their own academies. There is a huge need in this, okay? Also, I am the fire chief at Central Community, part of Parker County ESDA. So I'm a user of this academy. I send young men and women to this, and with the hopes of them becoming a career firefighter somewhere. The benefit is, I send somebody to the college and to the fire academy, and I will get they'll bring 2 back and volunteer with us. So the big part is that the community is seeing a benefit from this, just a huge benefit, other than just getting people trained. There's a Facebook group going out right now, and whether you're on Facebook or not, you should look at it. It's Save Weatherford College Fire Academy. You know, I think anybody can join on it. You really need to look on there and read some of the testimonies that some of these people that have gone through this program. It amazes me. You have people that are going out and saving lives that they were trained right here. Y'all are missing out on so much that you don't even realize, just promoting that. Promoting the fire academy, promoting the college, because they're going out in the communities and making a huge, huge, huge difference. I can't stress that much. I know that it's not on the agenda, but something brought this up. Somewhere between the lines, we know that there's some kind of discussion going on. And there's some kind of concern, or we wouldn't be here today. That being said, it is a wonderful academy. You have wonderful instructors that are making a difference. My son-in-law is going to work for the city of Weatherford next week, providing he passes his medical and psych eval. He was a product of this right here. So it's affecting the community. In so many ways, it's not even funny. The only negative thing that I'm going to say is the college needs to take more ownership in the fire academy. They've been behind in a portable building behind the old electric Weatherford plant for the last several years. I don't know how many. Their fire trucks in a tent. That's not what you want to see. You want to, and granted, I know we don't have the money like Tarrant County does, but we can still kick out the same type of firefighter that can go out and make the difference. Okay, it's there. Y'all have the opportunity to really put a great program and to improve it. We need to look at it. Look at the passion that everybody has. Look at the passion that you see everybody that's here. You're going to look out here. There's agencies from Tarrant County, probably some of the other surrounding counties, and Parker County. So it's not just Weatherford. It's not just Parker County. It's a huge impact. And these folks are going out and making a difference. And I cannot stress, there's a need. Tarrant County's already filling their classes. Okay, they would have to offer, if this was to go away, there would have to be more classes. As an end product user in Haltom City, I need multiple places to get the good quality candidates when we put them to work. We really do. That's all I have. If you got any questions, I'm easy to find. Thank you.
We can't ask questions, Mr.
No,
Chilcutt.
I'm easy to find.
Okay, all right.
Matt, can I ask you a question?
This is not the time to ask questions. We're going through,
But we have people here that want to be heard, and I'm not asking them a question, I'm asking you a question.
what I'd like to do is move on so that these people can make their comments and we can follow the rules that we have in this. And
So you refuse to answer my question? Okay, that's fine, I just wanted to get on the record.
And thank you. I appreciate the fact that people want to make a full presentation. We've got 14 more to go, so we want to get through this, okay? So Michael Panis, is that correct? Is Michael in here?
Davis?
Davis, I
My hand,
apologize.
I'm sorry.
What? I'm sorry. You're at 1102
Yes, sir.
Cliff Swallow, Granbury, Texas. Thank you, sir.
I'm plumb tickled about the fact that, sir?
About 2 minutes, if you can, sir.
Oh, yes, sir.
Thank you.
I was going to say, I'm tickled that you guys started this off with the Pledge of Allegiance and prayer. I like that. I said my little prayer if I came in here. Fact of the matter is, y'all, is we do more than teach people to put out fires and cut up our cars, okay? I've been an instructor here for almost 8 years. And, a little nervous. But, y'all, it's more than just teach them how to do a job. We're teaching men. We're teaching leaders in the community, okay? These are the same kind of traits and values that I got whenever I came out of the military. I'm the PT instructor. I'm the one that teaches them, well, yeah, it's a love-hate relationship. But, you know what? I said on the first day, I'm like, look, I said, I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to teach you to be able to survive, you know, the rigors of being in a fire, okay? And it's more than just doing the job, okay? If you do this, you are cutting out the legs, okay? They're gonna serve communities. When one of you have an emergency, okay? It's good to know that Weatherford College is there to back you up, okay? Because we train quality candidates, all right? And not just skill, they're skilled, but I put in integrity, honor, respect, the kind of things that have been forgotten in today's industry. We have become a generation of me versus a generation of we, okay? I preach brotherhood till it's going out of style. Those kids hear brotherhood till it's like, you know, spitting out of their ears, okay? That's what we've forgotten, okay? So even though you might turn your back on us, we will never turn your back on you. Because we have honor, we have integrity, we have respect. We have a sense of brotherhood, we have a sense of community. And that's the kind of stuff that we teach at Weatherford College. All right? Mr. Watley said the same thing. Chief Chilcutt, same thing. If you notice, they didn't come up here and say, hey, you know, it's all about training, training, training. We turn out leaders of the community. So don't turn your back on us. Like I said, we don't do this for the money, okay? We do this because it's a calling. So why would you get rid of something that is here to protect you? Makes no sense to me. So, appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
And if you guys want to talk to me, I'll be outside too.
Thank you, sir. Next up is Jeff Vogel, 13721 Lost Spur Road, Roanoke, Texas, 76262, Fire Academy Support. Good to have you here today, sir.
Good afternoon. Let's just say I passed another academy to finish my education at this school. I live in North Fort Worth. I attended an academy on the other side of the Metroplex because I hate to say it, but 1991, there wasn't really much going on out here. I've recently retired. I've served my career as a police officer, firefighter, arson investigator, but I found my calling was going to school here because the programs were excellent. They tailored around the fireman's schedule. I have two special needs kids, and I worked 3 jobs, and I was allowed to get my education here. I messed around. I started in college in '89. Now, my graduation date's 2015, July 2015 to be exact. But Weatherford gave me the opportunity to finish my degree on my terms, and it wasn't a cakewalk. If anyone tells you online school is easy, they're lying. But to reflect on what the other gentlemen before me have said, I instruct out here as well in the Fire Academy. And the camaraderie between the instructors and the quality of instructors is better than you see at a lot of academies. We work hard to make sure the cadets learn what they're supposed to, but we try and instill what it's like to be around the station. what it's like to come out and be a successful candidate. And, you know, I took time off of work to come in here today because I wanted to make sure we were heard. But this has been a fantastic academy, and I hope you support it because it's been a great experience for me. And I hope we continue to raise better firemen coming out of this academy. That's all I got.
Mr. Vogel, thank you for taking your time to come here today. Stephen S. Malley, 1734 Martin Drive, number 11206, Weatherford, Texas.
They're kidding.
He's coming.
Thank you, thank you. Welcome, Mr. Malley. We've got about 2 minutes if you can.
I will.
Thank you, sir.
It's been a long week.
I bet it has.
My grandmother passed away. She was about to be 108. My dad had heart surgery, and I found out about this. And so, my passion for 40 years has been the fire service, public safety as a whole. I started when I was 18. I love this job as much as I did when I started when I was 18. I wish Weatherford College could develop the passion for the fire academy that we have, that all of these people have, and invest in it. 16 years, I've just looked to have roots set down so we could grow the academy. So all I've ever wanted to do is grow it into something. I'm already proud of it. It's never been about the size. We don't have to have the facilities TCC has. We've already proven we bring kids from the Metroplex out here. They drive past TCC. TCC is a good place. That's where I went. I want to make this better. I just need your support. I need the dollars. I see the money that comes in that's generated when the college believes in something. And I just like the fire academy to be the next thing that we're proud of and that we put money into. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Malley. Joe Don James, 1100 East Houston Avenue, Crockett, Texas. Welcome, Mr. James. You've come a long way today.
Yes, sir, sure have.
About 2 minutes if you can, sir.
I'll try, but I'm not gonna promise.
Okay, good enough. Here we go.
Thank you, board.
Thank you for coming today.
My name's Joe Don James, retired firefighter. Spent my career in the Metroplex. Like I say, I've come a long way. If I didn't believe in this program, I wouldn't have driven 500 miles by the time the day's over to be here today. I promise you that. There's not a lot of things I'll drive 500 miles for. I've been in fire service, as Mr. Malley has. He and I spent our careers at Mansfield together. 42 years last month in the fire service here in Texas. I started the day after I turned 18 years old. So if you do the math, you know how old I am. I have been fortunate enough to hold every position from firefighter to chief. I've been an instructor in fire service since 1982. I've literally taught from California to New York to Florida and all over Texas. I've taught with multiple academies. Texas A&M, Weatherford College for several years. I have 2 degrees in fire science from Weatherford College, so I'm an alumni also. I was an instructor here at the academy. Most recently had more personal affiliation with it when my son graduated from paramedic school and fire academy here. And he's now a firefighter at Mineral Wells after spending 4 years in College Station. This program, bar none, that I've been associated with from coast to coast and all over this state, is right at the top. And quite frankly, I'm disappointed, almost disgusted that they're not getting the support that they need. They've always been treated second rate here, never had a home, never gotten the support, and always been pushed to the shadows. And I can say that from personal experience because I taught here for about 8 years. I saw it firsthand. This program has brought students in from all over the country, quite literally. We sent class firefighters all over the country from this. I know personally several firefighters, Mr. Watley that was here earlier, Chief Watson over here in the corner. Several of the people were products of this. And it doesn't just affect Parker County. It affects the whole country. I've got people that keep in touch with me that are firefighters in Tennessee, in Oklahoma, and Kansas. They're all over the place. This academy can make money if it's given the support. I'm currently involved with another academy and another college here in Texas. I'm not going to say where. About the same size. We've had students start our academy this week that drove from Sweetwater right past Weatherford to go to East Texas. Why did they do that? We don't have the support here. It's terribly disappointing, terribly. Our program just got committed by the college to $7 million worth of funding to grow our program. We have face-to-face academies, online, hybrid. We have high school programs, 16 of them in place with 12 more starting this year. We also have the lowest tuition of anybody in the state, and we're making money. So that's not an issue, but the reason we're making money is because we're supported. And that's what Weatherford College needs to do. They're my alumni, they're my heart. I have poured out hours and hours and hours and miles to see this place grow. It not only helps Parker County, it helps Palo Pinto, the surrounding counties, it helps the community. Just because they don't get out of here and make a job as a career as a firefighter doesn't mean that they're not helpful. They can join the volunteer fire departments around here to support their community in that aspect. If somebody has a heart attack at Walmart, they're there. Guess what? They know how to do CPR until the ambulance gets there. Little things like this all over. And we're wanting to cut this program. It's disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful, and it's disappointing, and the community is going to suffer for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. James. Appreciate you coming all this way.
Yes, sir. And I'll be available if you
Well, thank you, sir. Next would be Paul Burns, POB 88, Palmer, Texas. Mr. Burns?
Yes, sir.
Right up here, please. Thanks for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
And we're, if we can,
I'll
come-
shoot.
yeah,
I think-
thank you,
I
sir.
think I can pull this off.
I know you can. Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
All right, my name's Paul Burns. Started my career in the fire service professional in 1984. I started working for the academy out here in 2003. I was in the last class, moved from Mineral Wells to Weatherford Fire Station 3. Taught here till about 3 years ago, then relocated to Palmer. During the time I was here, I trained many students that have gone on to various cities around the state. I ended my career, I retired last January from the city in Fort Worth, or near Fort Worth, one of the suburbs. It was not uncommon for me to come across former students who have promoted up to officer rank, many firefighters who have gone to get jobs there throughout the Metroplex. Some of these other gentlemen have talked about, and I think others will, just the pride in the fact that we have a good program here. You have a fantastic, instructors are phenomenal. They all go above and beyond. Just rumor is that the program may be on the chopping block. We would hate to see that. There are other schools in the Metroplex. You have Tarrant County, you have A&M, you have some up in Collin County. I think Weatherford has a definite niche because you do cater to a lot of people in this area. I would just really hate to see this program go away because you do have a lot of vested people here teaching. I know where I retired from, we had 5 former students who had retired from Weatherford. I always enjoyed getting them in because my training curve for them it just didn't seem like it was near as much as some of the other places because the amount of heart that the instructors put into the students. When I first started with the academy, our training field was on the fairground down here with cones set up to simulate a room. And students would walk into these 4 cones and simulate pulling ceiling. And we saw progression. We were borrowing one of Weatherford's fire trucks. The reason we had to come to Weatherford to do our skills, we couldn't do them in Mineral Wells. Y'all purchased a fire truck. There's a lot of equipment that's been purchased over the years through Perkins money and money that y'all have given. Fire service, like anything else, is constantly evolving. Nursing students can't be expected to do stuff that they were using 30 years ago. Your product you turn out will be awful. Same with fire, same with ag services, same with truck driving. Any of the programs that you have here has to stay current on the needs. And I would just encourage you, one, do not cut this program. Two, help support this program by adding, it's not all at one time, but you need to be adding to so that the product that you're putting out, and students are a product, they're expected to go into the workforce well-trained, ready to go, with a minimum amount of training per department. Everybody's got little quirks, they do things differently. But overall, at the end of the day, we're turning out professionals here who are trained medically as well as for fire, and they're ready to go. Please do not take that away from the students who are going here, and I feel like it would just be tragic for y'all to give this program up. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Burns, thank you for coming today.
Okay.
Mark, Jack, Mr. Jack, can you tell us, we need for the record your address, where do you live?
301 Hidden Valley Drive, Aledo, Texas.
Okay, thank you, sir, for coming.
My name is Mark Jack. I'm Weatherford College Fire Academy graduate. When I started the academy, it was at Mineral Wells, and then before we finished the academy that year, we finished up at Weatherford College and Weatherford Fire Station 3. So we had a transition in there. That was quite shocking to see that we were moving like that. I am a career firefighter in the DFW Metroplex. Make a long story short here, I'm going to try to be respectful of your 2 minutes here. And I'm also president of Parker County ESD1. I'm president of the Board of Commissioners. Our fire chief is here also. We had been discussing some with the Fire Academy about relocation, and we are still interested in doing that. So just let the board know and Dr. Farmer know that Parker County ESD1 would still be interested in sitting down at the table, and maybe we can help out on this. So that's all I've got to say.
Thank you, Mr. Jack, I really appreciate it. David Hood, 500 Bluebird Road, Weatherford, Texas. Mr. Hood, thanks for coming today.
Yes, sir. Thank you for seeing us. My name's David Hood. My personal history here is I started Weatherford Fire Academy in 2010. I was day class 16, graduated from there. My family has been in the fire service consistently with no lapse of service since 1931. But it's here that catapulted me into the fire service. It's this program that put me where I'm at today. I've been a full-time paid firefighter since 2010. Was lucky enough to be what some people call a one-hit wonder. I applied once. The department looked at my credentials that I received from here, and I got hired. This program has put out quality applicants all across the state and across the country. We've recently had cadets that are hired in Tennessee because of the education they received here. We're a community college here. We're meant to serve our community. The difference this program has made in our community is extensive. Our taxpayer base expects it. It expects us to be able to provide them with the services that this college teaches through our Weatherford Fire Academy. I'm currently an instructor at the Weatherford College Fire Academy, and I currently also attend the paramedic program. The reason I chose to go to the paramedic program here is because of the quality that I received from the Fire Academy 11 years ago. That has led to extensive revenues for the college from other cadets that have decided to continue their education here, not just take the Fire Academy and leave. The revenue that the college has received and could receive if they put in more support for our Fire Academy would be extensive. I just can't see how they could not pay attention to that. Really all I have to say is it's a duty to our tax-paying base, to the students of this college, to the community as a whole, to continue this program. It's just, there's no other way to put it. It's our duty from the college to do that. That's all I have.
Mr. Hood, thank you very much. Appreciate your comments. Next would be Stephen Watson, 107 Blue Stem, Driver Road, Aledo, Texas, 76008. Mr. Watson, thanks for coming today.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll try to save you 3 minutes and 2 minutes or less.
Well, that'll be great. You do what you need to do today.
I'm an alumni from Weatherford College, Class 1, first ever Weatherford College Fire Academy class in 99-2000. So special place in my heart for sure. I'm also the fire chief for Parker County ESD1. We're the fire department for a third of Parker County, including Aledo, Springtown, and Peaster, and the rapidly growing eastern suburban area of Parker County, if you would call it that. I come to you with a little bit different flavor today as an employer. We have 42 full-time personnel on staff right now in our department. And with the growth that's occurring, that will be rapidly increasing. We need our community college to have vocational programs that supports the need, the local need. I'd like to offer you a solution, and Commissioner Jack, my boss, has already commented on that, but we do seek to build a first-class training facility just north of Aledo in a premier spot. We've had a little bit of conversation with some of your staff here, and it's been a busy time into COVID and then early spring and winter and spring and whatnot, so that never really got off the ground. But I do think we have full-time training staff on staff in our department. We've been kicking around even running our own academy, and I think it can make money if it's done right. So we're willing to be a strategic partner with you as another local government in a way that might could really help pull that off, and we'd love to have the conversation with you. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Watson, thank you for coming today. Thank you for your remarks. Sonia Bird, 3706 Indian Creek Trail, Granbury, Texas, 76049. Welcome, Ms. Bird. Thank you for coming today.
Hi. I am one of the few non-firemen that came out today because I wanted to show support for my brothers and sisters. I'm a paramedic. I am a stay close, go far, Weatherford College through and through. My husband graduated from the police academy, and we are here just to show you guys what these people mean to us. I was very fortunate. I had no idea there was even a fire academy here when I started EMT school. I've met some of my best friends. I've met all the uncles to my children, but most of all, I've met my mentors. It's a vice versa here and there when it comes between fire and EMS, and police too. We are a family, we are one. You have been able to allow us to create these relationships that literally go through generations. I sat in that room in there and I thought, oh my gosh, look how many years of experience, hundreds of years. And I know right now if I walked in that room and said, hey, I need the shirt off your back, probably 20 of them would be topless. But I was fortunate to teach at Granbury High School, and I sent those kids here because I've seen what this place can do for myself and my family and my friends in this fire academy and what Mr. Malley has created. And I'm so proud of it, and I'm not a public speaker. But it's something that, as someone who hates heights and fires and dark spaces and all the things, when I get on scene on an ambulance and I look over and I see someone from Weatherford College, or I work, for an agency that gets these students, I know what I'm getting. And I know these homes, we go into homes of strangers. Anything can go wrong. And I know these people have my back, men and women. There's fire captains in Katy, Texas that want to be here today. Those deployed right now with the National Guard that wanted to be here today. And I'm just here to thank you for your time and know that these ladies and gentlemen are the best of the best. And thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bird, for coming. Thank you for your comments.
Yes, sir.
Sean Fannin, 817 Chastian Court, Fort Worth, Texas. Representative for NEFTA. And
good afternoon. Yes,
Mr. Fannin, thank you for coming.
I'm Sean Fannin. I'm the fire chief for Watauga Fire Department. Also the NEFTA president, which is the Northeast Fire Department Association. So I'm here to represent the NEFTA, which is the 14-seat coalition, which is Hershey Hills, Bedford, North Richland Hills, Richland Hills, Haltom City, Grapevine, Keller, Trophy Cove, South Lake, West Lake, and Watauga. So I represent these 14 cities. I'm here to tell you that Weatherford College, even though it's not in Parker County, we need Weatherford College for ours, even though we have Tarrant County in the back, like other people has talked about. This is a vital program. There is not enough firefighters for us to hire now. You shutting down a facility like this, a top-notch facility, is going to be detrimental to the fire service. You don't understand the ripple effect. If we just talk, no one's talked about the ripple effect. You shut down this college, this fire academy, you're going to have fire departments stealing from each department. I say employees. So what that ultimately going to do is raise your personal taxes for whatever city you work in. You're going to see your taxes because I'm going to have to fight this city versus another city to get the same firefighter that's coming from Weatherford College. So you're making the pool very small by shutting down this academy. This academy is used not only just, y'all keep saying this community around here, it's used all over the state. You have top-notch instructors here that does do leaderships like Mr. Watley, Chief McKilcutt, Chief Davis, all those, the ones that were former members. Look at them, they are leaders of the community because of Weatherford Fire Academy. So as of the 14 cities coming here from Tarrant County all the way over here, say this is a facility that needs to stay open. All right.
Mr. Fannin, thank you for coming. Thank you for your comments. Dusty Benthall, I don't want to mispronounce that, 2206 Caitlin Drive, Weatherford, Texas, 76087. Is it Mr. Benthall?
Benthall.
Benthall.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Benthall, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
About 2 minutes or give or take.
Well, I'll be pretty short and
Well,
sweet.
thank you for coming.
Thank you. There's nothing I can tell you that y'all haven't already read in your emails and seen on Facebook. I'm a former cadet with this program. This program was, and I'm also an instructor. This program was put together for guys like myself and Chief Watson, wherever he ran off to. When we came up through, there was only 2 programs around here. And this bridged the gap for guys like us. We're both chiefs now. In the years that I've been an instructor, we have begged, borrowed, and questionably acquired a lot of the stuff that we worked with. If we could just get more backing, imagine what we could do as a program. You know, we've used hand-me-down fire trucks, hand-me-down air packs. Every now and then we get some brand new stuff that's new to us, but we still use whatever we can get. And we put out top-notch firefighters across this nation that are represented from this program. Just imagine what we could do if we got more support. That's all I got.
Mr. Benthall, thank you for coming. Thank you for waiting. Andrew Harris, 1830 Sandpiper Drive, Weatherford, Texas, 76088. Mr. Harris, welcome.
Well, thank you.
About 2 minutes, give or take.
Hopefully not that long.
No more than
This is
5.
All right, yes, sir. So, I was Major Harris. I was day class 21, fall of 2012. Right after graduating the academy, I turned around and went to paramedic school the following year. After the academies, I was able to get a job right away, within 2 months of graduation. In my academy, there was 15 of us that graduated, 9 of us are currently working as firefighter paramedics around the Metroplex. They're currently working. This academy, it gave me the basic fundamentals. It made my rookie year a lot easier than I would have if I went to as a brand new 20-year-old kid. So it gave me just a very manageable rookie year. At 22 years old, I was able to start my career. Not a lot of 22-year-olds can say that. They got a full starting career. You know, 4-year colleges, you know, still struggling to find a career nowadays. So at 22 years old, I was able to start my career thanks to this academy. When I graduated, the first day of the academy, Steve Malley told me that by the time you graduate, you'll be work-ready firefighters, and we were. We were able to turn around and get jobs because the academy gave us the proper training and the knowledge we needed to succeed in the fire service. Unlike TCC, this academy, you don't have to be sponsored. A lot of departments in the Metroplex sponsor. you have to be sponsored by a department to get into TCC. They'll hire about a class 25 or 30, and about 2 or 3 of those kids are not sponsored. So here at Weatherford College, you don't have to be sponsored to come here. You can be fresh out of high school and come here, not have any job, no experience. A lot of departments over there you have to be hired on, then they'll send you to school. So this is one of the very few academies, like TCC, that you can come here with no experience and then see if this is what you want to do and succeed. I think if we shut down this academy, not only are we going to push out the products that we push out now, but we're also not going to push out as much. Like I said, we only have 2 or 3 people at TCC that are getting fresh out of high school. Whether you come here and have nothing and start here, unlike TCC over there. That's all I got. Thank you.
Mr. Harris, thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Oh, Mayor Marshall. 314 Howard Way Drive, Aledo, Texas, 76008. Mayor, thanks for coming.
You're very welcome. I'm pleased to be here. I also took time off of my paying job to be here because this topic is very important to me. I'm here as a resident of Parker County. I attended Weatherford College as a freshman, and it was during that time that I learned what my career path was going to be. So Weatherford College is very, very important to me. And it actually turned out to be different where I am today. However, my daughter also attended college here as a freshman. So I tell you this to let you know that I care deeply about Weatherford College. I believe the programs are outstanding. I want to also tell you my opinion. Weatherford College is more than academia. I understand budgeting. I understand the things that go into budgeting. But I want to share with you something that's bigger than that. With the hats that I wear, I've had an opportunity to work in the region on many levels. And I will tell you that my experience has brought me into contact with many first responders. Whether it was training, exercise, or a variety of meetings that impact our region. And I want you to understand that Weatherford College has always been the bell ringer for others in the Metroplex because of the Fire Academy. And I really hate to use the word product, so I'm going to say the men and women that are turned out of Fire Academy to go into the world and impact in a way like no other profession. And I could say the same about the Police Academy and the EMT. But I'm here today to talk specifically about the Fire Academy. I think it would be detrimental to the college, to our community, to Parker County, and to the region as a whole and well beyond if this program were to see darkness. Support is extremely important for any program and for its ongoing success. And I warrant that those who have spoken before you today that graduated from the program are indeed successful. They are indeed successful. I've had an opportunity to work with several high schools in Parker County, and a number of those young men and women have come to Weatherford College for the Fire Academy. And you talk about exciting, and you talk about an opportunity to turn out young men and women to go make a difference. I would say that the discipline that is required by this program, and I know many of the instructors, I've had an opportunity to rub shoulders with them in training and exercises. I know the integrity of the program. And I would submit to you that it would be a disservice to the college because your impact, again, goes beyond academia, but you have to believe in it and you have to support it. Yes, we have many resources to the east. But I would ask that you look to the south, to the north, and to the west, and you tell me where there is another resource like Weatherford College that can impact the lives of many, whether it's academia or our technical careers. There's a reason that our high schools have increased the presence of career technology. Your smaller schools don't have that. Not everyone is college material. Not everyone has what it takes to go for a 4-year degree, and I would submit to you that many of the degrees I see today, and I'm not speaking of Weatherford College, I'm speaking in general, are about as worthless as toilet paper. You cannot go get a career with them, but you spent a lot of money and probably had a great time getting it. I'm telling you today, Weatherford College has a good program with the Fire Academy, and you turn out stellar men and women through that program. And I would ask that you consider deeply before you look at cutting this program. But not only that, I would challenge each and every one of you to find the yes. What does the yes look like to support a program that is making a difference in saving lives? Thank you.
Mayor Marshall, thank you for coming. Thank you for your comments. And let's see, we're down to Roderick Colquat. I'm not saying that right.
It's Cocos, sir.
Colquitt?
Yes, sir.
Is he here?
He's coming up all.
Okay, thank you. Roderick, right up here. And you're at 1601 Stafford Road, Weatherford, Texas, 76088?
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you for coming.
You bet. Probably better known as Roddy Cockett. I was a firefighter, paramedic, and captain with Mineral Wells, retired after 25 years. I've been with this academy since the day it started, and have seen the progress and the support that we've had, and appreciate that from everybody that was part of that. This has really hit me, not as needing a job. You know, I could quit tomorrow and be fine, but I really, really appreciate the quality of the instructors that I work with and the quality of the cadets that we turn out. I see them all the time. I sat on the board at Mineral Wells, the hiring board, for years. And when we got a bunch of the Weatherford College fire recruits in, I was tickled because I knew their training and I knew we were going to have some good candidates. I think right now, of the 19 people working at Mineral Wells, 15 of them are Weatherford College products. So that kind of shows you right there. But I'm going to give you a quick analogy. This isn't my words, but I agree with them completely. If you were to go downtown Weatherford and throw a rock, you're going to hit somebody that has worked or has been a recruit or come from one of these programs here at Weatherford College. And it's like a spider web all out around the region. And so that, to me, is important not only for the city, but for the people, the community, the citizens, that we can work locally and use our people that are local and they know everybody. And when you're EMS and fire and people are coming into your homes, that's important. So I hope that y'all really consider not just the Fire Academy, but the whole spread of what is going on if the Fire Academy does get cut. It's a wide network, and appreciate y'all having us here to speak about this, and I hope you take all that into consideration. Thank you for your time.
Sir, thank you for coming. Thank you for waiting, and we appreciate everybody's comments. That's the last comment sheet that I have. Is anyone?
I apologize, I emailed mine to Teresa this morning.
Okay, well, you can come right on in. Would you announce your name and your address and tell us what's on your mind today?
My name is Tom Blair. I'm the President Fire Academy Coordinator. I've been here since 2004. I've been the coordinator since 2014. The issue we've had so far is that we've had little support from the college. Now, we've fulfilled our budget each time we ask, but that's the bare minimum. That just gets us by. That doesn't help us grow. TCC had 135,000 contact hours last year. I'm sorry, 2019, the last year I had before. I know contact hours are going away, but we have one of the highest completion rates in the state. We have a 98% completion rate, which is what they're going to start going by. Kilgore College made $306,000 profit last year in their fire academy. That helped bring the college itself above their previous revenue the year before. And the one thing they had in common is both of them had the direct, complete support of administration. Whatever they asked for and they showed that they needed it, they got it. The priorities, I know that the college is really good at generating funds. They generated outside funds for the pianos, they generated outside funds for the turf. They're good at doing that. Why can't they generate some outside funds for the fire academy so we could have a quality academy? It's all about priorities. Do you want to have something that saves people's lives or not? That's what we do. I've been a firefighter for 47 years last May. Yeah, I'm older than dirt. My kids, I told them I was a military firefighter for 30 years. They wouldn't know if it was north or south. But I was there. But the point is, this what we do saves lives. That ought to be important to keep it going. I mean, we're not asking for a lot. We're just asking to be supported. I know that there's other organizations and departments that do this, but we're not even recognized. I was noticing outside at lunch on that marquee on the board they have. If you scroll by, they talk about academics, agriculture, and athletics. None of the technology, none of the service academies were even mentioned. It's like we're an afterthought. Don't make us an afterthought. Just please support us. Thank you.
Mr. Blair, thank you for coming. Can you get with Teresa and fill one of these forms out for us?
I'd be happy to.
I've got it, I was away from my desk.
Okay, that's okay. Thank you. Anybody else want to speak? If not, we're going to move on to our posted agenda. Thank you for coming. Yes, sir. Do you need to speak?
I may.
Yeah. You sure can. And if you'd like, after you get through, can you give your name and write it all down there?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chief Ed Clucci. I'm a retired Air Force firefighter. Tom and I ran into each other, and believe it or not, we actually went to the military academy many years ago. What I would like to do is kind of present a little bit of a different spin for you folks. I want to get a little bit more personal. As I've listened to each speaker today, I've heard a theme you probably have picked up on: risk, cost, benefits. So if I may move around and talk a little bit, because that's who I am. I am reminded of many stories as a firefighter. One time, we had a young man, just like this gentleman here, was sitting here taking notes, and all of a sudden he had a heart attack. Yeah, right here. Everybody didn't know what to do. The firefighters showed up. They checked for a pulse. There was no pulse. They immediately shocked him, and they actually brought him back to life. So my question for you folks today, each member that's here, on the risk, benefit, and the cost for the Weatherford residents, and I am a new Weatherford resident, are you really wanting to shut down the academy and risk someone's life? For an example, I want to pick on you for just a minute. I hope you don't mind. Dr. Todd Farmer. Leila's sitting right next to you. If you would reach over and just say, hey, I'm glad that you were here. Would you do that for me, sir? Glad you're here. Leila, in about 30 seconds, is going to have a heart attack. Do you know how to save her life? Do you know how to use an AED? I want to get a little bit more personable with what the Fire Academy does for not just us here, but for all of the residents of Weatherford. So I challenge you, I ask you this question. Is this really what you want to do? I think we're better than that. So in closing, I'm reminded of a story, and I heard somebody say up here, you can make a difference. I'll close with this story. Being a military man, I started in 1981. I've served in a couple of wars. There was a young lady over in Iraq. She was an airman first class. I was assigned to the troops and I was going out to check on them. She was in a hangar. She was working on an F-16 fighter jet. And her job was to make sure the communications portion of the F-16 were working correctly. Little did she know the impact that she would have on an entire platoon of Army soldiers. You see, this platoon of Army soldiers were engaging in the Army, were engaging the enemy, and they were pinned down, and they called for help, and they got a hold of the AWACS aircraft, which was the command and control. And the command and control scrambled to find anybody that could go help this platoon that was pinned down. And it was because of this one person that made a difference. 2 F-16 fighter pilots heard that distress call. They were out of bombs, they were out of bullets, but the pilots had fuel. And the commander of that 2-ship F-16 said, I know what to do. And he said, follow me. They both went burning in with afterburners. And he said, get me plugged into that platoon sergeant, the leader, right now. And he told them, get down, I am coming. The entire platoon of Army, they got down. Boy, I'm glad they did, because an F-16 burning at Mach 1, it will rattle your cage. And I'm proud to say that young lady saved the life of that entire platoon. So I leave you with this thought: risk, cost, benefit. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Can you fill that form out, please? All right, we will conclude that part of the agenda, and we will move now to agenda item number 3, President's Report. President Farmer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman and members of the Weatherford College Board of Trustees, I would like to give a few brief recognitions, employee notices, and an enrollment update. Recognitions. The 12th annual Taste of Parker County event was a huge success with record attendance. Proceeds will fund additional student scholarships and the continued work of the WC Foundation. Thank you, Bob Glenn, Brent Baker, J.C. Trotter, Evelyn Payne, and all who participated in the event. WC Rodeo student Sawyer Gilbert recently set a new world record in breakaway roping. Sawyer had times of 1.43 seconds and 1.46 seconds for a total of 2.89 seconds on 2 runs. Sawyer is one of 7 coyotes who have qualified for the College Nationals Finals Rodeo in Casper, Wyoming, running from June 13th through the 19th. We are hoping for a national championship. Go Coyotes! And finally, I am very pleased to announce that Weatherford College and the Weatherford College Foundation have partnered with the Texas Rangers Baseball to schedule the inaugural Weatherford College Night at Globe Life Field. Attendees will be given hats that are co-branded with the Weatherford College and Texas Ranger logos in our black and gold colors. The Weatherford College Night is scheduled for Thursday, September 16th. Information on charter buses and tickets will soon be forthcoming. Employee notices. DMAC Local requires the college president to provide the names of contract employees that have resigned since the last board meeting. In accordance with this policy, the following individuals have submitted resignations. Zachary Indy resigned as a computer technician from Technology Services effective 5/21/21. Dr. Ann Mayo, an instructor in life sciences, has resigned effective 5/8/21. Coach Mark Osina has resigned as men's head basketball coach effective 5/31/21. And Christy Walker, an instructor in vocational nursing, has resigned effective 7/12/21. We thank Zach, Ann, Mark, and Christy for their service and wish them the very best in future endeavors. Enrollment update. Year-to-date enrollment is up for both the 2021 summer and the 2021 fall semesters. We currently have 1,649 students enrolled for the summer, and with ongoing registration, We are on track to exceed the 2020 summer enrollment of 1,844 students. Year-to-date fall enrollment is 1,946 students compared to 1,305 students last year. Mr. Chairman, that concludes the President's report.
Thank you, Dr. Farmer. Moving to agenda item number 4, consent agenda, financial reports A through H. We've all had the opportunity to review those items. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda and financial reports?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
That's approved. Moving to agenda item number 5, reports A through C. President Farmer, academics and student services update.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Indy has consolidated our monthly reports in a written form, which has been provided for you in advance in your board packets, and he will be happy to entertain any follow-up questions from any of those reports, should you have any questions. Moving to item B, we do have the CBRE Site Director, Ms. Rhonda Swan, here to share with you her role as the Site Director for CBRE and the good work of all of her employees. Ms. Swan.
Ms. Swan, thank you for being here today.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Dr. Farmer and the WC Board of Trustees. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today about myself and your maintenance department. I have been on this campus since July 1st, 2001, when the maintenance department was first outsourced to Johnson Controls and continued when Johnson sold their facility division to CBRE in a seamless transition in 2015. I am officially employed by CBRE, but I am here to work for Weatherford College and take care of your facility. And I am available 24/7. My office phone stays forwarded to my cell, and I am available at all hours for any calls after hours and on weekends. I actually fill a dual role, site manager for CBRE and facility director for Weatherford College, reporting directly to Dr. Cantrell. I assist her with building the WC major repairs budget each year, and after approval of those projects, I follow those through from PO entry through project completion throughout the year. Our department consists of maintenance, grounds, and custodial staff, and at the present time, we have a total of 27 employees, counting myself. Maintenance covers preventive and routine maintenance and repairs along with HVAC and controls, plumbing, lighting, event setups, and painting, to name a few. We also have someone working during the sporting events for cleanup. Most recently, we had 3 employees working at the Taste of Parker County for cleanup and breakdown of tables. We enjoy that every year. We also take care of the fire, life, and safety inspections to include fire, sprinkler, fire alarm, extinguishers, and kitchen hoods. Our grounds crew takes care of all the irrigation, mowing, weed eating, and the campus, along with flower bed maintenance to include color change and mulching. Grounds has been quite the challenge for the last 6 weeks, trying to keep mowers and weed eaters moving between rains. It will probably take us another week or so to catch up. I am pleased to report that we just opened a summer position for grounds and have already hired a young man that will be starting on Monday to continue through the summer. We also have just posted 2 full-time positions on our CBRE site for grounds help. We are amping up our grounds workforce to be able to create and maintain a more manicured look on the grounds year-round, and especially with the college growing as it is. At the present time, we have just completed round 1 of dorm cleaning for summer occupancy, and repairs, patching, and painting is in full swing and will continue through the summer. Late July, we will have all the apartments deep cleaned to be ready for August move-in for the students. Our custodians will be busy this summer with carpet cleaning, floor finishing, and window cleaning, along with their daily duties. The last year and a half has definitely been the most challenging of my 20 years here, as I'm sure every one of you can say. The pandemic gave us many challenges, but we were fortunate to be able to keep working straight through. We continued with deep cleaning, had extra time for dorm repairs and make-ready, and were able to concentrate on regular and preventive maintenance on campus. Dr. Cantrell tasked me with getting the electrostatic sprayers in and the quantities of disinfectant needed to be ready when people returned to campus. I also handled the measuring and ordering of the plexiglass shields for the desks and counters across campus and got these in place before students returned. Our next challenge came with the February freeze, one we have not yet quite recovered from. We had pipe breakage in 7 different buildings during that week and some damage in all of those. 10 of my guys worked a total of 170 hours in the evenings and on weekends dedicated to the water remediation. Miguel Delgado put in a total of 27 extra hours and was on site within 5 to 10 minutes of every call out. It was a very tough week for all of us, but it would have been much worse if it had not been for the quick actions of the WCPD and our dorm director, Faith Stifler. Teamwork is what makes this department successful. We work well as a team with our police department and the dorm crew and pulled together during these type of issues. I have been and still are managing the repairs with vendors and am working with the insurance adjusters to make certain that all costs are captured in the claim. This has always been a very challenging but rewarding job, and we hope to be able to continue a long working partnership with Weatherford College. CBRE is proud to partner with WC in sponsorships to the athletic programs, the golf tournament, and scholarships on campus. My husband and I are also proud to support WC with the scholarship. Thank you for your opportunity to serve WC.
Ms. Swan, I appreciate your report. It was well done, and I really appreciate all that
Thank
you
you.
and your crew does. I know it's a lot of work. It seems like it just gets bigger and bigger.
It has been, but stays challenging, right?
Yes, ma'am.
sir. Job security.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming today.
Thank you, Ms. Swan. Moving to agenda item C, before I would invite Dr. Cantrell to make her way to the microphone, and while she's on her way, I want to compliment her entire team, but also everyone else across campus, faculty, staff, department heads, deans, all the way up to cabinet level officials who have been involved in creating the budget presentation. Dr. Cantrell, if you don't mind, could you give us approximately what our tax rate is here at Weatherford College?
I believe it's right at 10.49. I think I don't have that today with me. But
That's okay. I'm sorry to put you. I should have given you a heads up. State average, Weatherford College is about at 12 cents on the dollar. State average is 18 cents. There are 15 community colleges in the great state of Texas that offer bachelor's degrees, and many of those, their tax rates are in the 20 to 30 cent range. And so we are extremely efficient, and that in great part is to Dr. Cantrell and her team's incredibly effective management of extremely scarce resources historically. So thank you for all that you do.
Thank you. Well, I want to thank you all for allowing the last 3 months for me to tell you what I do on a daily basis, and 2 people that work for me, Erin Davidson and Rhonda. I can't, and I thank you very much for approving the coming 3-year contract with CBRE. I've done a lot of work over the years with this group. When we first, we had problems when I took over maintenance in 1998. We had some severe problems. It was also in a very busy construction period time, just like we're in right now. We couldn't hire a construction manager, a facility manager at that time, because they were making so much money out in the construction world. I worked with Jim Swan with CBRE. I had met him through the facility management group that they have. We put this contract together. We were one of the first in the states to work this and to refine it to the point that it is. It was based upon, a lot of it was based upon trust in the very beginning of what responsibilities would be in what areas. It's continued through those years, even with the changeover with CBRE, and that's because of Rhonda. Joe Herndon, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention him, because they were a very strong part of it. They have fought for us. Although they get their checks from a corporate company, they fight for us on a daily basis. I've heard them. They will not, they feel like they work for us. I've heard them say that many times. And sometimes it's hard for them to do that when they know who writes their check. But Joe Herndon and Rhonda both told me they never walked down those steps to talk to me, that they didn't feel like that's my boss and that's who we've got to please, Weatherford College and no one else. And they've told CBRE that. There's been other colleges that have bought into different facility management groups, and I just want to tell you this because we did approve that contract today. I've known several of the other community colleges that have walked into some of these contracts. They got different managers, they got different people, and they were not as successful as we were. They've changed management group 3 and 4 times trying to find that perfect mix and haven't found it like we have here with CBRE. And I think we did exactly the right thing today, with staying with a proven product like we have. They have been stretched. It's been a tough 3 or 4 years. We've been moving fast here. And I think everything looks great. I think everyone is proud of this campus. We have people come by and compliment. And we know we're behind every day, but we get up trying to get there, let me tell you. But I thank you again for approving that contract, because it's very important to the success of this college. I'm going to speak briefly to the budget today. If you all will look at your summary page, that's what I'm going to work from. At this time, we are giving you a proposed budget. I will say it's a main skeleton to the year. I can't say it's a finish because we don't have all the information yet. And so with that said, at this point in time, we are presenting to you all a revenue and expenditure proposed budget of $75,500,659. That's an increase over our amended budget of $4,874,196. When we look at the coming year, a lot of the increases over the beginning of last year were $4 or $5 million, $7 million up over that because of all the CARES or federal grants that we've gotten because of COVID. They can be, and they have been, very advantageous to us. Some of the grants that we've received from the federal government, many of them, we're still trying to figure out how we can utilize those grants, because they are very intricate in the requirements. I think we're going to be able to replace some of our air conditioning because of the air quality control that's going to help us here at this college. Mike, we're going to be able to do a lot of things with our online teaching because of the grants that we're getting. But with that said, there's a lot of movement going on between these scholarships going out to students, between the scholarships and operations of the college, that right now we're just not exactly certain yet exactly where those dollars are going to end up in some of these areas. Our final state appropriations, I'll point out to you, for the 2022-23 biennium, total $17,902,000. We just got word back of how much those would be. That's basically $8,951,000 a year. And so we did get a little cut, very minute compared to a lot of the other colleges in the state. Our enrollment and the state appropriations held pretty well for us, I think. There's still opportunity, and we're working with that even I may be able to cover that with some of the shortfall with some of the federal grants that we're getting. Our tuition and fees had an increase of $680,000, $375. It's budgeted at this point, but they're budgeted flat over this last year's COVID year enrollment. So it's very likely right now we're seeing some numbers that are going up. And if that is done and we're certain of it, we will be adjusting those figures upward to try to accomplish some of the other things that we need to in our budget and we know that are out there. The local taxes, we haven't really gone into finishing those up. We have I'll tell you right now, and I'm going to move to expenditures to look at that a little bit. There's an increase in valuations, of course, we all know that, for the Parker County and Wythe County both. Parker County, we've adjusted by $1,402,000, and that only represents a 6.6% increase. There'll be more dollars out there, I believe. The current year preliminary taxable value is $17,359,712,206, and that's 11.5% increase over 2020. The Wise County, the estimated taxable value is $8,570,914. That's an 8.8% increase over 2020. So this next month, I'll go to working on this as soon as they have to certify their values to us by July 25th. And just as soon as I have those numbers, I'll go to generating what the tax rates could be or will be proposed to you all. Local funds other, right now we're showing a decrease there of $542,000, but that decrease will move also. Much of that decrease is because of a lot of that money last year was secured donations that we already had secured and pledged. I know Brent and his crew, Bob Glenn, Dr. Farmer, are all out there working right now to secure some more pledges. So I expect, guys, that to go up in the next month. And, but we do have a reduction in projected interest income too because of the interest rates being down. There's a little bit of that figure is attributable to that. I'm proud to say though, this Wise County transfer, the transfer from reserves is 0 this time. And that's because of the passage of the Wise County bond. And we are so thrilled over that. Talk about the expenses a little bit more later. Our expenditures moving down. A lot of times it's hard to go through those expenditures because we have a little bit here in each area, but I'm going to try to give you the major changes in each area. We have put aside right now a reserve of $777,000. It has been allocated for employee raises. We've got to see where we are, but we wanted to set that aside and do our very best to meet those goals there. I know that the board has a real desire to raise the salaries to the mid-level of the state, and so that we are striving to do that, but we're waiting right now to see what our final dollars are. Technology services has increased by $816,000, and that's a large figure. About the time that these were turned in, I lost my technology director, and I had a lot of requests laying out there. I'm very glad to say I have a fabulous new executive director of technology. I'll bring her to meet you next month. We didn't bring her today. We knew we had a lot on the agenda. But I want her to sit and go through this budget right now and tell me exactly how she plans to use these dollars that have been requested by someone else. I want her to have the opportunity. She's had a week on the job, and I've been very impressed up until this point, and I think if there's any way it can be cut, she will cut it. I also want to make sure that whatever we've requested, that we've got the time and the energy to accomplish all that also, because if you can't get it accomplished, it really doesn't mean anything to get it allocated to you, and we could use it in another area. We've cut the supplies overall, have been decreased by $180,000, cutting back. Travel overall has been decreased by $13,000. Equipment overall has been decreased by $982,000. Contingency has been decreased by $429,000. We had quite a bit in contingency last year, though, at the last minute with the passage of the tax rate like it was, and we have allocated those dollars out to other areas now with the amended. So to look at that and say that's a big, we've still got ample, that 1% will be in that contingency when we adopt this budget. Auxiliary enterprises have been increased by $185,000, and that's mainly due to the addition of the golf and the tennis programs. Auxiliary is made of anything that we're not using tuition, state appropriations, or tax dollars on. So we, in those areas are all of our athletic programs. We have cafeteria, bookstore, major repair and rehabilitation, and so, no, major repair and rehabilitation is not in there, I'm sorry. But with that said, it's been increased by $185,000, and that's mainly to do with those two new programs that you all are fully aware of, in golf and tennis. We have a small portion in there, I believe, for volleyball for the new coach when hired to go in and recruit. Other major changes, we've got a decrease in plant operation and maintenance of $1,950,000. We've got a major repair and renovation budget. We decreased that by $200,000 this time. We've accomplished a lot. We've done a lot of in the Kingsley building, in different places on campus, and right now that may change too, because I'm sure there's requests out there that Rhonda probably hasn't told me about right now that she's waiting to come in and tell me we need more money in that area. She helps me greatly. She seeks requests every year from college-wide to see what the needs are, and that's the way we build that budget, are based on request and then needs that she's analyzed or are found across campus. Student A, independent contractor, and that had to do with the amended budget. Most of that independent contractor, a lot of it had to do with our freeze and the damage that we had to do with that. So that wouldn't have been there, well, it wouldn't have been there last year at this time at all, because it wasn't anticipated. Our utilities, they haven't matured as much as we thought they would this last year. So we're expecting $406,000 there to be decreased. We also, we're looking at pulling out of mineral wells. There won't be as much utilized over there as in the past. WCWC lease agreement, that's one of the things that helped cut this budget. It decreased by $193,000, our lease and it was cut more, and I'll tell you that later, but this coming year, we've already amended for this year a portion of that, the difference. So this year, the last amendment went in, we amended a portion of it out, and I'll tell you what the full amount is later in my. We added this time our depreciation line item that has not in the past, we didn't have a line item for that. We just, at the end of the year, when depreciation had to be charged, after everything was closed out, when the auditors got there, we looked at our depreciation, went back and recalculated it, and it was inserted then. We had good years back, many good years, and we were able to always cover that. It's getting a little bit more complicated as things move faster and dollars are allocated in different places, and we need that line item now to see that at all times. It's very important too in looking at any buildings that we might be demolishing. I know Coyote Village, it ended up, we had to charge back a little depreciation because that building wasn't totally depreciated out. So to think about things like that, because that is an expense to the budget when that happens, if you have to go ahead and expense the rest of it if it hadn't been at that point. Debt service was increased by $1,455,000, and that's mainly due to the 2021 main campus revenue bond for the new building, for the workforce building. Notes to the budget, and that's mainly my differences that y'all are seeing on those pages right there. There's been no increase shown in the Wise County branch maintenance tax at this time. We will work on that once in Wise County. We've always worked with them very closely, the county auditor and Question and Judge Clark. They normally go in there, look at our budgets, review those, and then they come back and allocate to us the tax rate that they feel like is comfortable and that they can manage at that time. So that'll be done usually in August. Parker County taxes, as I said, had been adjusted already with the current year preliminary values. Any of these line items right now, until the 1st of August, you can expect those to be adjusted. It's just too early to finalize. And with that said, there's a page missing. I don't know where that is. But with that said, I believe we came down in our cost on the bond for this coming year, for that 1 year, was like, it was going to be $2,900,000 for that, the bond payment or the lease payment. And it will be total for that year will be $2.2 million, I believe. So we've cut it $700 and some odd thousand. So it's been excellent according to that. We have not done, I expect there'll be some more work done on the Wise County. Other than that lease agreement, there's not that much difference with it right now, but we're still working, and requests will be coming in as the administration looks at that area up there to see what's taking place. But right now, there's minimal change there that you wouldn't, there's just very minimal. It's just $10,000 or $20,000 in either way. But the best part about that is no transfer from reserves that's required. Are there other questions at this time? And let me tell you, anytime you want to call my office, I'm there usually. And about this time of year, I'm working on this budget. So it'll be there to discuss if you'd like to. I'd love to entertain any questions.
Dr. Cantrell, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We really appreciate the hard work you do. Your job just gets bigger and bigger.
It does. It's a little bit more worrisome, but it's challenging and it keeps us going.
Dr. Farmer, I didn't mean to take over your reports.
Oh, I just echo your comments. Thank you so much for your work and the work of everyone involved in that complex budget. That concludes the reports, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. We'll move to agenda item number 6, announcements. Mr. Baker.
Yes, sir. A couple of announcements for you. We do have a production this next weekend as a result of the teen musical theater camp that's happening right now in the Alkek Center. We have Moana Jr. the 18th and 19th, and it'll be a tremendous performance. It'll be in the Alkek Center, 4 shows there. President Farmer mentioned the College National Finals Rodeo, June 13th to the 19th. You can be watching our athletic social media outlets for a day-by-day update on how our students are doing up there in Casper.
Is that going to be televised?
It'll be televised later. The finals
Okay.
will be televised later, kind of on a tape delay.
Can you send us the information on where that's going to be, if you can?
Yes, sir, I will do that.
Thank you.
And then our financial aid department is hosting actually 2 financial aid nights. The first one will be June the 29th at the Aline Strain Community Room, this room, another way to outreach to potential students. And that's my report.
Thank you. All right, we're down to agenda item number 7, closed session. So it is now, let's see here, I've got 3:34 almost. And I'm going to close the public meeting at this time, and we will resume our meeting in closed session in about 3 to 5 minutes to consider the posted agenda that's listed under number 7, closed session. With that, we'll take about a 3 to 5 minute break. Thank you. Thank you, folks, for hanging around, and appreciate you letting us talk a few things out. We really appreciate it. We will call the open session back to order, and we will pick up on agenda item number 8. The time now is 4:41 on my clock, a little bit after 4:41. And so we will move to agenda item number 8, consideration possible action on real property. It's my understanding that under A, RFP 0821, sale of property in Aledo, Texas, there's no action item on that particular subject. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So we'll move to 8B, ground lease on Carter property. During the closed session, we were given information about a proposed document that involves an LOI to a particular company. So I would ask either Dr. Farmer or Mr. Curley to move forward on that, to just explain a little bit about what an LOI is and what this particular document is, what's involved here.
I would ask Mr. Curley to address that, if I may, Mr. Chair, but before I do that, I would want to reassure any programs that are currently operating out on the Carter property that those programs will continue to be strongly supported and encouraged, and we have no plans to discontinue any programs out on the Carter property. Rather, we want to continue supporting and growing our agricultural and vet tech programs. Mr. Curley, LOI, please.
LOI is a letter of intent. It sets a roadmap for negotiating a final agreement. This LOI relates to a potential ground lease. A ground lease is essentially what it sounds like, that you actually lease the dirt rather than build a building and lease the building. It allows the tenant on that ground lease to improve the property and use the property during the course of the lease. At the end of the lease, the property reverts back to the landlord. So that's the bare bones explanation of what that's about.
Okay, all right. I'll put a little more meat on it. This is a motion. We will see if there is a motion to approve and issue a letter of intent regarding a proposed ground lease between Weatherford College as the landlord and a company, Chick-fil-A, CFA, as a tenant. And with that brief explanation, is there a motion made to approve and to issue this letter of intent? Does anybody make that motion?
I so move.
I second.
Okay, motion second. All in favor, raise your hand.
I'm going to abstain until I know a little bit more.
Okay. And do we have, okay, 8 yays, 1 abstention, which is appreciated. All right. So that letter of intent will be going out.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Moving on the agenda, item number 9, consideration, possible action, appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee. Do we have any action items in that category?
No, sir, Mr. Chair.
All right, so moving on to agenda item number 10, adjourn. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
Is there a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. We're adjourned. You want us hands? Everybody put their hands up. Okay, thank you. Very good, very good.
Mercy.